go through all of this. So we lose more people in second phase than any other phase because being underwater is unnatural to people and people die. Actually, more people die in our training than they do in combat. That's a little hidden gem we keep from you guys. After second phase, third phase, weapons of demolition. It's another 11 weeks. Pistols, rifles, rockets. If there's a weapon system on this planet that this country operates and maintains, we can use it. And anything our enemy uses, we can operate and maintain it. And then we graduate. Now, when I started training day one, week one, minute one, there was 164 men in my class from all walks of life. Country boys, city boys, collegiate athletes, doctors, lawyers, Harvard grads, Yale grads. I mean, you name it. Anybody and everybody who wants to kind of beat on their chest shows up here. It's a melting pot. 164 men on that first day. When we graduated, there was 10 men left. My brother had 254 guys in his BUDS class, and he graduated with 16 guys. So that gives you an idea of the attrition rate. And what this school does is it forms a bond tighter than any blood bond you'll have with anybody, period. I mean, sometimes I'll point people out in the eyes and go, hey, is this your friend? You know, yeah. I'm like, why? Why is he or she your friend? Why do you even hang out with him? Well, you know, man, we watch football, we kind of worked out. I was like, you ever been in a tight spot with him? You ever been with him when everything fell apart, when you slipped into the fight? I'm not even talking about it, blood's flowing yet. I'm just talking about it getting uncomfortable. Well, they sit there looking at you going, man, this is pretty bad, but I ain't going anywhere. Because that's your friend. I'm talking about the guys you don't call up the bar sugar. I'm talking about the guys you call them and say, I got a body in the trunk, I need a damn shovel. Because the time we go into this training, the time you step across that quarterdeck, they take everything you ever were away from you. They rip it away. And the way they do that is chaos and pain. Life is pain. Everybody in here knows that. Because the guys we go through that training with, we go to follow-on training and into the SEAL teams that we deploy. And regardless if there's a war on or not, there's idiots everywhere we got to go take care of. So we stay pretty busy. I got on the hook for Afghanistan in 05. I was already in the jungle and the cities in a couple places fighting. I hadn't been to Afghanistan yet. When I got there, I saw my brother. He had been there, and I slapped him high five, and he's like, hey, you know, don't go easy if it goes down. I was like, I won't. So my primary mission set in Afghanistan was I was on a special reconnaissance team. And basically what that means is there's a four-man element, 4 men. And they would slip us in under the cover of darkness, okay? We'd free fall out of an airplane, fast rope out of a helicopter, go in on horseback Humvee, or just throw our boots on and sneak into the mountains as deep as we could go for weeks. Tracking down one guy, the head of the snake. We don't go after militias and armies and stuff like that. That's what the Corps does, the Army. They do that real well. We go after one guy. And we find him, sneak into his backyard and set up shop and watch him anywhere from 6 to 10 days, taking video, taking notes, gaining intel, learning anything and everything I could possibly learn about this joker that I didn't already know. And at the end of that, we get the green light. I'd either kill him or we go down there and we snatch him out of there and I'd interrogate him. And whatever I got out of him, I'd go do something else. And that's how that wheel rolled. And we were doing it for about 3 months when Red Wing came down the pipe. And it was business as usual, really. We were going after a guy by the name of Ahmad Shah, high-ranking individual, and had his own militia at his disposal, kind of deal. Called themselves the Mountain Tigers. I was like, what? Mountain Tigers. Let me give you a little insight onto how military call signs and nicknames work, okay? It starts with the flyboys, our jet jocks, jet pilots, all right? The cooler, the better your call sign is. So if you've got a call sign like Iceman or Laser Beam, you're an idiot, okay? Because you don't get to pick your own nickname. Your buddies give you that. So if you hear something like that, you're like, this guy's a turd, man. I ain't even gonna hang out with him, dude. If you got some guy with a nickname like, or call sign like Outhouse or Crapwater, that's your dude right there, man. You're like, come on, brother, we need to go. Because you know he's gonna be there. Well, they dropped us in. They dropped us into the mountains, and we dropped at 9,000 plus feet into a snowbank. For those of you who know the story, have seen the movies, for those of you who don't, I'll give you an idea of what we're doing. So they dropped us into 9,000 feet, landed in a snowbank. We had to go 4 miles to our target. It took us about 8.5 hours to get there. Found the target, set up shop. All right. My team, for those of you who aren't familiar, our primary sniper and point man, his name was Matt Axelson. He went through training with my brother. They were best friends. I refer to him as Axe, okay? Behind him was Mike Murphy. He was our officer in charge. He was my best friend in the teams. I mean, I loved him to death. I never told him I loved him while he was alive, because guys don't do that. But I'll see him again one day. I'll tell him that I love him. And then behind him was Danny Dees. Danny was our communicator. He was our link to the world. And I was behind him. I was a team leader and rear security. That was our team. It was always our team. We set up shop and started doing our business. And for those of you who have seen the film, it was reversed, and I'm not sure why they did that, but in real life, the shepherds walked on us first, and then the goats came up. All right? The first shepherd walked right over the top of me. I was laid up under a big old tree that had been chopped down. We think we're in a logging area because most of the bigger trees have been cultivated and chopped down and burned up. One way Afghanis make money is they're loggers. So, oh man, it got my attention real fast. I mean real fast. I'm not gonna say I was scared. I don't get scared, but I had to check my shorts. I kind of felt, when I came up with my rifle to engage this guy, he had no idea I was there. I could tell by the look on his face. They had a big long beard. Somebody has one of those, you want to get their attention? Jerk on it a little bit. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. So I rolled him up and drug him over to where Danny was. I was like, get out of the way, I'm going to interrogate this guy. I was trying to tell him that I wasn't going to kill him. Hand to God. Literally, I was trying to tell him I wasn't going to kill him. But you can bet most SEALs, we don't pay attention in language class because we don't care what language you speak. By the time y'all send us over there, all that's done. Talking's done, man. Everybody understands what this means. If you don't, you will. Most of the stuff we learn is to scare them, to get their attention. My favorite phrase when I was over there was, Allah sent me, and there ain't no way in hell you're getting out of this. So, it's kind of one of them deals. We have our faces painted up all sadistic and cat-eye contacts and vampire. I probably shouldn't be telling you all this, but anyways. About 5 minutes later, the other two came up the mountain. Another adult male, he was somewhere between the ages of 20 and 90. I don't have any idea how old they are. And a kid. And he was about 12 to 14. That's your fighting age male right there. We zip-tied him. Turn your back on a 12-year-old boy over there, he'll let you know about it. After that is when the goats came up the mountain. About 80 of them, probably. That's guesstimation. And that changed the whole dynamic of everything. Those goats don't wait on the shepherds. That's the reason why we turn them loose. They just keep going. Go back down in the village, show up down there and no shepherds, village comes back looking for them, strapped up. If anything seems out of place, the guy we've been chasing for 2 years is gone, over into Pakistan. Mission first, mission priority. That's our job. No questions asked. So we turned them loose, they were gone in the shot. We relocated, and then about an hour later is when that militia walked on top of us. First guy I saw had an RPG over each shoulder, an AK-47. There's probably 30 or 40 guys right on the top, but we were right underneath the crest of the mountain, about 30 feet. Right on the crest of the mountain was 30 or 40 guys, and then coming down each ridgeline was a dozen or so guys. And I initiated the whole thing. The guy pulled his head around a tree, he had a black shroud on his head and an AK muzzle. And I waited, and as soon as I threw my weapon on fire, he pulled his head back around the tree. I looked down at Mike, he was right underneath me, straight underneath me. I just rolled my boots around. I told him, I said, get back on the clock, we're fixing to get it on. That's exactly what I said to him. I turned back around and waited. Eventually that guy pulled his head around the tree again, and when he did, I shot him right in the forehead and dumped him. And when I dumped him, it unleashed hell on our left flank. I've been in a lot of gunfights, nothing like that. Man, it was loud. The first place I got hit was in my weapon, right in the mag, actually. When I dropped my magazine and loaded another one, I looked down at Mike, he was giving me the signal to fall back. I kept my pack wrapped around my calf. When I reached down to grab my pack, that little shelf, the little ledge I was standing in, it crumbled, fell apart. I slid right out of it. And I'm pretty sure my foot hit a tree root. That's what stopped me from sliding. But it also pushed my chest up over my hips, and I flipped. And for those of you who know this story, this is when the fall started. I hit Mikey, and we both started pinballing through, we were in a grove of trees, actually. We pinballed through that for about 150 yards. Broke through that, started to flip, and hit the rocks below. And I broke my back real bad, and my pelvis. And Mikey landed on his face. You can tell by the way he crushed his face. Well, that's when the fight started. And then it was on. To put it into perspective for you, that movie is 2 hours long, maybe. The gunfight in real life was over 3 hours. That's how long it took to kill us. About an hour and a half into it, I was dragging Danny. Both his femurs were broken. He had a compound fracture on one of his tib fibs. One of his lungs had been dropped and had been shot 4 times that I know of. And I actually picked him up over my shoulder to fireman carry him 6 or 7 times, but I'd fall on top of him because the mountain was too steep. And I know I broke a lot of his ribs. I mean, it was bad. But when I picked him up to take a fall one time, I spun around, and when I did, I spun him into a bullet and shot him in the back of the head and killed him right then and there. Well, I wasn't ready for his dead weight. There's a difference. I flipped out from underneath it, and my face hit a rock, and I broke my nose real bad, and I bit my tongue in half, and I swallowed it. Well, that completely incapacitated me. I was on all fours, kind of trying to choke it out, and I got it out. Some stuff happened with me and Danny. He was dead. But then I made it down a mountain. Towards the end of the gunfight, I was firing laterally at a group of guys, and Axe walked out from behind this boulder. I almost shot him. I didn't even know he was there. He wasn't firing his weapon. He was walking. He walked right past me and sat down Indian style, leaning against my right hip. The ground was on fire real bad on most of the mountainside now. And he had his hands in his, holding his face together. And he's like, "Hey bro, I'm sorry man, I can't help you. I'm blind." He shot me in the face. In the movie, they had him hit back here. In real life, he was shot right here in the temple. And it had taken all that off. So I don't even know how he was alive, really. But he was just like, "I can't help you, man, I'm sorry." His jaw had been dislocated. He's hanging on his thing. It was bad. But I was like, "Get out of here." And when I turned around to give some cover fire, Mikey was out on this boulder with our satellite phone. And he got shot in the chest and in the gut, flipped him. He sat up, and they shot him in between the shoulder blades, dropped him on his face. Well, this bothered me real bad. I mean, he's my best friend. I slung my weapon. I tried to get to him. The problem was, once you fell a certain distance, you couldn't get back up the way you came. It's too steep. We tried hundreds of times. He crawled left and went behind this embankment. I could hear his weapon go off. I had turned around and was sitting on my boots trying to reload my weapon. And he started screaming my name. I'll never forget it. He started screaming my name. It was bad. I actually put my weapon down over my legs and covered my ears because I couldn't stand to hear him die. I mean, basically, they killed him. He died right there, but I snapped, man. They snapped my cord. I couldn't believe it either. I mean, they say every man has his breaking point. To break a Navy SEAL, you have to kill us. But I snapped right there like some punk, man. I couldn't take it. I don't know what happened. I mean, it's not like I never heard anybody die before. But I got shot out of, they killed him. I shot out of there. I caught up with Axe. He's a couple of 100 yards below me. I crawled under this rock embankment. There's a stream running around, overhanging, 2 logs leaning against it. I was under there with him. He had taken an abdominal dress and tried to pull his face together. I was trying to punch 2 holes in it. And I told him, I was like, we're gonna die. We're gonna die right now. And like I said earlier, I made my peace with God a long time ago about dying. I'm not afraid of it. But it's a weird feeling when the Reaper's at the door. Normally we don't know. You go out and you do your thing, they shut your light off. I hope nobody ever has to feel that. It's weird. Anyways, an RPG hit behind him. He took the brunt of it, blew him over the top of me, folded me over backwards. And when I leaned to push him up, another one hit and blew us out of there and separated us. I went one way, he went another. I never saw him again for the rest of my life, not ever, not one time. It knocked me out again. That's one thing they didn't put in the movie is how many times we were knocked out during the fight. 6 times myself that I know about. So, I mean, you're talking about tucking your brain back in your face. Normally you get knocked out once in a lifetime. But, I had fragged from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. I'd been shot, my back was broken, my pelvis, all my med gear, maps, GPS, compass. I was almost naked. All that stuff's been ripped and blown off of me. Well, I just rolled over and started pulling myself, and I took a bunch of dirt and sand and stuck it into all my open wounds, and so I wouldn't bleed to death. And I buried myself in a shallow grave. And I didn't move another inch all day. I didn't even take a full breath. I specifically told myself not to do that. Don't take a full breath. Because they were walking over the top of me. They knew they were missing somebody. And towards the end of the day, I was scared. I was afraid. There's a difference between having fear and being afraid. Having fear makes you sharp. Makes you do things you normally couldn't think you could do. Being afraid will cripple you, stop you in your tracks. You really shouldn't be afraid of anything, but I was afraid. I was afraid. I don't know what was going on. But towards the end of the day, I could feel my toes. I uncovered myself. I rolled my rifle up to clear my area, and in the distance, I could see a guy sitting against a rock, had a silver AK in his lap, and the sun was pinging off of it. That's how I spotted him. I took 2 shots at him and missed him, and on the 3rd one, I hit him in the guts, and he fell. And it was a hunter-killer team. 2 other guys came running over and hit on my side of the rock facing the same direction I was. And I shot those 2 guys in the back.